Right, we now come to a 10-minute rule bill. Rachel Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move that leave be given to bring in a bill to require certain persons or organisations to share specified data relating to the short-term letting of accommodation with regulatory authorities, to amend the Data Protection Act 2018 in connection with that requirement and for connected purposes. Mr. Speaker, I am honoured to represent the cities of London and Westminster in the heart of London, a truly unique constituency in a number of ways. How many can say that they have the Tate Britain, Ronnie Scott's and Abbey Road studios on their patch? How many can boast 78,000 businesses and 2 million jobs? And how many can point to having been the home for a unique wealth of historical figures like Mary Seacole, Millicent Fawcett and Aluda Equiano? But this centrality does come at the cost of one of the most competitive housing markets in the world, where long-term residents are forced to compete against commercial real estate, luxury developers and foreign oligarchs. Chief among the forces hollowing out our communities is the unchecked proliferation of short-term letting hosts on Airbnb, Booking.com and other sites. These individuals turn our homes into hotels, our communities into commodities and our neighbours into nighttime nuisances. My inbox is full of such stories. Fire services being called because of guests leaving cookers on. Families with children being kept up with drug-fuelled James Bond-themed parties taking place right next door night after night. And even organised crime outfits renting out apartments for a weekend to harass Londoners, snatching phones and wallets before leaving with their ill-gotten gains. Shame. Amidst this bad behaviour is the flagrant breach of the London-wide regulation that short-lets operate for no more than 90 nights per year without planning permission. This is operationally impossible to enforce because of how difficult it is to get accurate information on how many nights a short-term let is being used. Mr. Speaker, in some parts of my constituency, as many as 30% of homes are being used as short-term lets, and in the process, making the homes that are left less affordable for long-term residents. Research from King's College London shows that doubling the density of short-term lets is associated with an 8% growth in per-bedroom rental prices, or more than £4,500 per year. This overheated housing market has become unaffordable for locals and hollowed out communities like those in the West End, which was historically the beating heart, cultural heart of London, home to William Blake, Shelley and Constable. The average one-bed flat in Soho costs £2,400 a month to rent privately, over double what they would have been at the turn of the millennium. And at the same time, average prices have tripled from £300,000 to nearly £1 million. When non-residential forces crowd into a residential market, it's working people who are the losers. It is no coincidence that Soho's population has been shrunk by 2/3 over the same time period, and that the knock-on effects of these changes are felt. Since my election, I have had to fight for institutions used by local residents, including schools and community facilities such as the Jubilee Hall Gym and the Central YMCA, to stay open, and frequently their landlords have complained about a lack of footfall. Mr. Speaker, London isn't just special because of its landmarks or its economy. It's special because of its people, its historic communities living and working together and generating some of the greatest cultural and social achievements produced by this country. And if we want to keep London as a world-leading city, we need to ensure that its people can afford to make a home here and that they feel safe and at ease living here. We have to fight for this city, and that is exactly what I intend to do. I would like to take a moment to pay tribute to the City of Westminster's pioneering short-term lets team, who work day in and day out to enforce existing rules around illegal subletting and the 90-day rule, and antisocial behaviour in problem properties. Since coming into power in 2022, Labour has doubled their size, and I've been working with them, launching a short-term lets commission, directly reporting properties flagged by my constituents to council officers and ensuring they are taken off these sites for good. And the government is on the side of my constituents too, in pushing forward with a mandatory short-term lets registration scheme. This will be the first time to give us a clear, uncontested data on where the short-term lets are and who is operating them. Hosts will have to enter their property's address and receive a unique reference number, which will then appear on all sites where it is let. And they will have to confirm that they are following existing regulations which apply to short-term lets, such as fire, gas and electrical certificates. This will be transformative for how we enforce short-term lets in London. With a unique reference number, teams like those in Westminster will be able to much more easily pinpoint problem properties and take them off major sites for good. But there is a piece of information which this scheme must collect, which right now we cannot: the number of nights for which homes are being let out. Without this crucial data, enforcing the 90-day limit will remain an elusive task to local authority planning enforcement teams. Data from AirDNA indicates that nearly 6,000 short lets in the cities of London and Westminster are being let out at over the 90-day limit. These are almost certainly the worst offenders when it comes to the other community disruptions which I have already mentioned. If we simply made these actors follow the law, or better still, took them off the market entirely, we would significantly reduce the disruption caused by short-term letting. So why can't we take this data? It's because of the Data Protection Act, which currently prevents this information from being shared. While crucial for ensuring that our personal data is more secure than in comparable countries outside of the EU, in this case, the Data Protection Act is standing in the way of effectively regulating short-term lets. A number of exemptions do, however, exist in the legislation, and my motion today would extend this exemption to include the number of nights short-term lets are used. This, however, cannot be the only action which is needed on tackling short-term lets. Time and time again, my constituents do bring up licensing as a possible solution to the spread of short-term lets, backed by reams of research from policy experts. Just as if a business were applying to open a bar or a cafe in a local area, so too should a short-let host have to apply to their local authority before opening what is, in essence, a micro-hotel in the middle of a residential block. While every local authority should be able to undertake their own approach to this, local authorities like Westminster and the City of London, where concentrations are so high, need to have the power to decide where homes can be let out and under what conditions. The government's upcoming database is a crucial step in this direction, as it can, for the first time ever, provide an authoritative data set on the extent of this problem, and this will benefit members of Parliament and their constituents across the country. My constituents are ready to engage with this database and report poor practice. The local authorities I work with are on hand to upscale their work, which the benefits of it can bring. All we need now is this final piece of the puzzle, knowing how many nights homes are let out for. This piece is well within our grasp, and it is up to us in this House to deliver it.
That the honourable member have leave to bring in the bill. The question is that the honourable member have leave to bring in the bill. As many are of that opinion, say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Who will prepare to bring in the bill?
Rachel Blake, Lizzie Collins, Florence Eshalomi, Dame Meg Hillier, Alison Hume, Jane Kirkham, Joe Powell, Anna Geldard, Will Stone, Noah Law, Tony Vaughan, Dr. Scott Arthur.
Rachel Blake.
Short-term let accommodation data sharing requirements bill.
Second reading what day?
27th of February.
27th of February.